Okay, hello. My name is Daniel. My pronouns are he, him, and this is the first session of a three-session run of Blades in the Dark, Uptown Radicals. We are playing Blades in the Dark by John Harper. The session is part of the Gauntlet, which is an online gaming community playing all sorts of different indie, narrative, old school games. We have a wide variety of games. We play them all around the year. And there's also more about the Gauntlet. If you want to find out, you can find out at gauntlet-rpg.com. Before we start, I want to go around the virtual table and introduce the players. So I will ask you to tell me something about yourselves, state your pronouns, and tell me about something about your gaming history and anything else you want to share with us. I will go around in the order of my Zoom gallery. So let's start with Sabine.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. My gaming history is long and varied. I started playing 30 years ago with Palladium, which I've totally forgotten, but that's not what you're interested in anyway. So I have played Blades in the Dark before. I've did the longer run with Leandro, but I've played also variants like Moonlight Girl and Moonlight, I think it's called, and other stuff. But I'm not super familiar with the rules. It's mostly like the GM tells me, roll this, you have this and that. And I say, yes, okay, I'll roll this. And then I take whatever comes out. I know I need to roll high. So.
Okay, thank you. Alan is next.
Hello, my name is Alan. My pronouns are he, him. I've been playing with the Gauntlet for 3 and a bit years now, I think. I have been playing even longer than Sabine. But I am going to plug Against the Dark Conspiracy, my book of supernatural thriller espionage, which, God willing, will finally be available on drive-through shortly. In terms of Blades in the Dark, I've played in a couple of series on the Gauntlet. I'll be honest with you, I lose track of the moving parts. So you may have to nudge me. I find the idea of setting difficulty. No, that's not what it's not. But that thing of do I want it at this level, that level, or that level? I find that all a little bit difficult for me. So any help would be appreciated.
Thank you, Alan. I have played your game Against the Dark Conspiracy recently, and I have to say it's a great game. And I have to say I also sometimes lose track of the moving parts in Blades, but this is a game that it doesn't matter if we forget something, it's still playable. So, and if I also lose track or forget about something, then everyone here is free to remind me, so we can use the rules as well as possible. Okay, Jose, it's your turn.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jose, and my pronouns are he and him. I think I am the baby of the group. I only joined the Gauntlet in March, and so I haven't had that much experience. And before that, I joined the Gauntlet, I had no experience with other games other than D&D, basically. So I am new but very enthusiastic. I suspect I will be overwhelmed by the mechanics, but I will try to remain enthusiastic and and willing throughout it all. And so hopefully folks will be patient with me. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will, pronouns he, him, and I've been playing RPG since 2017, and yeah, it doesn't feel like a very long time at all in comparison to the studied careers of some other people. But yes, I've played Blades in the Dark, and I think that might be the only Forged in the Dark game that I've actually played. No, I've played a bit of Scum and Villainy as well, actually, and a bit of Blinded Blades, but only one shot. So The only long form Blades I've played is the Vigilantes game that me, you, and Sabine are in.
Okay, thank you, Will. I have to say that I'm somewhere in the middle with experience. I've played since the 90s, but I'm also very new to the Gauntlet. So this is my first game that I'm running on the Gauntlet, which is not a one-shot. So I'm also very excited about this. Okay, so a little bit about the game. This is a game about a crew of daring scoundrels in an industrial fantasy city. That is the definition. It is a sort of a steampunk style game. This is a term that we all know, but there is a twist. But it is based loosely on the 19th century so-called Victorian era with a touch of fantasy and a little bit of apocalypse, because the world is ruined, the sun has been shattered, and everything is in the dark, and hence the name Blades in the Dark. In this game, players have their own classes, which are called playbooks, but also the game is determined by the crew type that they're playing. And for this run, I have selected that we are playing the cult crew, which means that the players are playing a group of cultists which have an agenda to start a new cult or religion and have acquire followers and further the agenda of their deity. The twist that we are having here is that all the players, all the characters, the main characters are sort of rich, high-class people. They are not starting, so we will limit the backgrounds that you can choose. But also, each of you have been, each of your characters will have been awakened recently by a new god or goddess, and you will be the ones that will define exactly what it means and how you are, what place for this deity you want to carve in the city of Doskvol, which is the setting of the game. Okay. You also, what you are, the agenda that you're pursuing doesn't have to be good or evil. The setting is defined that all the characters are somewhere in the moral gray area, and everything probably more morally corrupt than good, but this is also for you to define. The city of Doskvol is full of factions that are trying to get their hold on the city to further their power and influence, and your crew, your cult will be the one that will have to wrestle with this balance and find their place in the city. As I've said, this is a dark setting. Doskvol is a part of the empire, which has recently finished a great war. But as I've said, the sun has been shattered by someone who has tried to become powerful and some kind of magic, and so the world is left in darkness. So all throughout the day and night there is darkness in the city, and also there is a lot of outside of the city. There are a lot of monsters and evil spirits, and there is electroplasmic barrier protecting the city from outside influences, so that it's I mean, it's not really free from monsters and evil spirits, but it's getting I mean, partially it is. Okay, so that's a little bit about the setting. Do you have maybe some questions about the setting or the blades? We will go through the details while we play.
I'd say the only thing that's perhaps missing from all of that setting description is that this is a world powered by ghosts.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So when the sky went dark, the gates of dead were smashed open, and now, like, the Doskvol Empire, like the empire of the immortal emperor, which Doskvol is a part of, is all fueled by demon blood that basically keeps big protective walls of power, to keep the ectoplasm and the monsters out and everything. And if you don't burn a body within, I think, like a day, ghosts come back. So there are ghosts everywhere, there are demons everywhere, and everyone's sheltering behind these flickering ghost fences, ghost walls, I think they're called.
Yeah, that's right. So the cities are protected, sort of, but there are a lot of ghosts running around the cities. When someone dies, there is a group of people called the spirit wardens who come to collect or destroy their spirits. But sometimes they fail, and spirits or ghosts get lost somewhere in the city or under the city or in a parallel space throughout the city, and the characters have also some way of accessing and communicating or interacting with these spirits. But when a spirit dies, it usually goes mad very soon, and communing with spirit is a very dangerous business, as it should be. The energy that powers the borders around the city is called electroplasm, and it's gathered from demons that live in the sea. They're called leviathans, and the Doskvol is sort of a port when there are big ships, leviathan hunter ships, and a lot of people in the city are hunting those leviathans, and it's also a very, very dangerous endeavor, and people who are doing this are very, very tough, but maybe have very short lifespans. Okay, so we will add some little more details. There is a lot undefined about the settings, so that we can fill in the gaps while we play. We will be using safety tools, as with every game at the Gauntlet. They're used so that everyone can feel comfortable and that we know we're on the same page and that we have a better gaming experience. You can on our role app table, you can see the safety tab, I think. So the safety tools that we'll be using, the first one is lines and rails. Lines are hard limits on content, things that we don't want to see in the game, which we feel uncomfortable seeing in the game, or otherwise we don't want to see it. And veils are a little bit softer limits. This is the content that we do want to see, but we don't want to go into detail very much about it. So we usually, fade to black or fast forward when we get to that. There is also a part, if you scroll down on the tab, there's a part which says interested. Of course, if you really want to see something in the game, we can put this type of content here. There is some kind of because this is a game about a cult, a religious cult, we want to see or talk about a little different religions that are inside the city and how they interact. And also because this is a dark setting full of ghosts, we'll probably see some kind of horror and maybe even gore. Of course, this is what I put, but you can also, every one of you can review these lines and veils, and we can add everything else that you want to add, and you can also bump some veils to lines if you feel that they should be also lines. There is a tab called Ask First, which means that the things that we may not be okay with, but maybe we should talk about it before we use this kind of content. The X card is a simple safety tool that we use. Sometimes we don't. Maybe we forget to put something, or we encounter some kind of content that is that we think that it's not appropriate for us. When we get to that, you can just type X in the chat. There's also a button in the chat, I think, for it's a pink button, but you can do this, or you can just show with your hands an X like this, and then we will stop and review what we are talking about, and maybe rewind a little bit to change the content of the game. Also, if we start talking about something that we have lined or veiled, anyone who notices that can say it, and we can also then stop and see what we do about it. Script change is a little tool where we can just say, like, we have a remote control and we can pause. We can say pause, and then we stop and talk about the content to see where we want to go, or we can rewind or fast forward and do similar stuff, so that we can see and maybe change, and maybe if someone has a better idea and wants to rewind what they have done, they can do that. I think this is a good match for this kind of game with a lot of narrative activity from all players, and it's good to use. Then we have an open door policy, which means that players can leave the table or the game whenever they feel that they should, for any reason, temporarily or permanently. You can just leave. If you don't want to, I mean, this is a game where we all agree to accept that everyone is here voluntarily, and if they want to leave, if there's something that they want to do, they can do this, and they will not be judged by others. And finally, at the end of the session, we will do a round of stars and wishes. This is a part of the game where we all talk about things that we think that went really well in the game, and the wishes are we identify the things that we think that maybe could be improved or done differently next time. Okay. Did I forget something? Does anyone have something to add to all of this? I said I was new to the Gauntlet, so I'm doing this. Also, we are using the Gauntlet Community Code of Conduct, which means that we should talk kindly to each other, don't be a dick, and don't interrupt each other. There is a link in the safety tab that you can use to see more about it. Okay. We are using the Roll Virtual Tabletop, which is a newish, still in development virtual tabletop, aimed more to narrative independent games than to the more traditional and crunchy and popular ones. If you see the table of the virtual, I'm showing you the basic rules of Blades in the Dark. The main mechanic of the game is the so-called action roll. You have, each of your characters have, I think there are 12 actions that they can use. When you want to do something, there is a procedure that we follow for each of the action roll. First, and it's a little bit different than others. First, the player states the goal for the actions, what they want to accomplish, and then they choose themselves the action rating that matches what their character is doing in the fictions. This is not for the GM to say, but for the player themselves. There is in your reference, I think in the action roll tab, you can see what each action means, but there is a lot of overlap between the actions, so that more than one can maybe be used for each of the actions. If you are not certain which action you're choosing, you may want to we can discuss this, of course, and this is not something that you have to decide for yourself if you're not sure. When the player has chosen the action roll, the GM is the one who sets the position and the effect level for the action. This is important. The position is defines how grave the consequences will be if you have consequence in your actions. So if you are in a desperate position, this is the worst kind of position that you can be. For example, if you are outnumbered or whatever, and then the standard position is risky. And if you are in a good position, that means it's a controlled position, which means that you can even back up if you feel that you are about to, not succeed. And the effect level determines the level, how good how well you can do the things you can. The things you want to do. For example, if you want to shoot at a lot of people, you cannot shoot the whole group, and then I will say your effect level is limited. So there are three main effect levels, which they are limited, standard, and great, I think. Okay. Great, standard, and limited, yes. The default position is standard effect and risky. The default effect is standard and the default position is risky, but sometimes this can change. And then when we have determined this, you roll dice equal to the number of your action rating. For example, if you have one dot in your action rating, you roll one six-sided die. If you have two, you roll two, and if you have zero, then you roll two dice and pick the lowest number. The result of the dice determines how well you do it. If you roll a six, for the dice pool, you look at your highest die that that you get. If you roll a 6, it means that it's a success. If you roll a 4 or a 5, it means it's a success with consequences. And if you roll a 1 to 3, that means that you don't succeed and there are consequences. And the weight of the consequences is determined by your position. Also, you have a resource which is called stress, which allows you to push yourself, to either improve your chance of succeeding by adding 1 die, or raising your effect by 1 level, which means when you use 2 stress, you can choose either one of those things. Also, there is something called resistance roll. We will get to that when we get to our first action roll. I think we don't need to explain this now, but every consequence you get, most of the consequences you get, some like harm or any other consequence, you can choose to resist. When I say something bad has happened, you can say no, it hasn't, and you roll your resistance roll, and this means how much you roll. This is the amount of stress that it costs. We will explain how the mechanics works when we get to it. There are also rules for assisting and group actions, but we can also get to that. And I think I have covered most of the things. There are some more stuff, but we can.
I think it'll make all of the rules and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose the big thing is what playbooks we're going to choose.
Okay. Yeah. So
we've lost Sabine.
We've lost Sabine, and now Alan is back. Okay, let's wait.
I don't think Alan ever left.
Do I disappear? Back in the, I didn't know I dropped out. Did I drop out of Zoom?
I thought I lost your picture, but now maybe you just, yeah. And Sabine says, sorry, my computer just crashed. Okay. She's interested in the lurk or the hound.
Okay.
Okay.
I could literally play anything.
Okay, so we have for Jose, we have the cutter, which is when you go through the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tabs, you can see the 7 playbooks. That is a cutter, a dangerous and intimidating fighter. There is a short description underneath and which explains what they do. So sort of a fighter. The hound is a sharpshooter and a tracker. If you want to use a rifle and be a tracker, you can play the hound. The leech is a saboteur and a technician, some kind of a demolition man with a lot of tools.
It's like an alchemist.
He
was standing as a doctor if you didn't have if you're playing like a long campaign as well.
Yeah, that's right. Also, you can do that too. The lurk is like a rogue thief. A slide is a manipulator and a spy. Someone who wants to, talk or persuade people. And a spider is someone who, a mastermind. Someone who if you want to pull the strings from behind, then you can play the spider. And Whisper is arcane, adept, and a channeler, sort of equivalent to someone who uses, maybe a wizard, but not really in this setting. Okay, so as we're waiting for Sabine to come back, you can maybe try to choose your playbooks.
Given the setup, are we going to need a whisper?
I think you don't. This is my opinion. I think a lot of games promise that you don't really need to, choose specific playbooks for a specific kind of a party. But I think this one really delivers on this promise. So you can use Whisper. You could use any other kind of playbook. If you see a way, if you think you see a way to fit it in something that you can.
We can all roll it. We can all roll a tune, anyways. Just the whisper gets special playbook moves for it. But if no one chooses it, then I'm going to go for whisper, because I think it would be nice to have a ritualistic thing of when we have a bunch of rituals. So, would you like it, Evan? Or?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I was just wanting to see whether there's anything we needed to put in the system. So if that's one whisper,
let's take it as read that I'll take whisper then if no one else wants it,
Okay.
and then that's the choice off the table that makes it easier, right?
Indeed. I've got no particular interest in hound or leech for what it. Lurk for what it's worth, Sabine. So do you want to take one off the table?
I don't know, Jose. What are you thinking? Because it's the first time you're playing, I think.
I am leaning towards maybe spider or slide.
Okay. Then I'll take the lurk.
Okay. So burglar, channeler.
Jose, I would just say from metagamey rules wise point of view, the slide has more abilities and stuff that sort of focus on any kind of play scene, whereas the spider has more of like involved in the whole big machine of Blades downtime stuff, like the play cycle of Blades, just as a sort of heads up, on the two different playbooks, because there's like Blade scenes that can be anything, and then there's the whole downtime turf entanglement score kind of play cycle as well, and the spider is more about the play cycle, the slide is more about general bluffing kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about the spider, and I'm just wondering if in 3 sessions the spider will have a chance to shine, I suppose, in terms of that longer term mastermind.
Yeah, you can make any of them, but yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I'm missing the second session, so maybe that might be a reason to not take the spider then, if he's more of a long game character.
Yeah, the slide is more of a in the moment type of character, I think.
All right, so why don't I just go for slide?
Okay.
And therefore I'll go muscle with cutter.
Great.
Logbook. Is that your character's name?
And Sabine,
No.
what was your choice?
I'm choosing the lurk, and
Lurk.
the umlaut means it's pronounced lurkberg. So.
Logbook.
Okay. So what I will do now is I will give you the playbooks. So I will give the cutter to Alan, which means that, okay, let's see. Which means that now you viewing sheets, Alan, you can see your cutter, and everyone can see it. Okay, and then I will give the whisper to Will.
Thank you.
And slide to Jose, and the lurk to Sabine.
Is it at all helpful to alter what's in role, so rather than Alin R appearing, the character's name appears?
I think, but you in your profile setting, you
because I can edit the name there, it seems to
yeah, you can edit the name in your profile setting if you want. Yeah.
I don't have the lurk yet. I
You
think
don't?
I don't know, but that says Daniel K, and I'm pretty sure that's not me.
Okay, I think I have given it a look.
If you see along the bottom, Alan, where it has our different names, Daniel K, Sabine,
Yeah.
etc.,
Yeah.
and if you click on the name there, it'll give you a chance to change your display name rather than
Oh, right,
change your
okay.
role character name. You like your whole role sort of thing.
So Sabine, under viewing sheet,
Yes.
yes, you have chosen.
Yes, I see it now. Now
Okay.
it's me. But I can I type? Yeah, I can type something. It's hard.
Yeah. Okay, so character creation. I have put the procedure on the main table, if you can see it. So you chose a playbook, and then you choose a heritage. You can enter your names later, but okay. Heritage is you choose where you're from, and there are a couple of places where you can be from. The Doskvol is placed in the Akoros, which is like the main island of Doskvol. This is the default place. There is not a lot said about all the different places of origin. You can fill in the details or decide what it means, but I will give a short overview. Severos is a land of wine-swept plains covered in dark scrub. It's some sort of a wild place where people still live in tribes. Iruvia is a desert place, sort of a Asian or African themed place, but you can define it more.
Indian is where I would go.
Or Indian, yeah.
You get very much a sort of last days of the Raj kind of feel of it, like we're the British Empire and the Induvians are like the old Indian Empire, and they have demons, we have ghosts, and it's all going to go very smoothly, I'm sure, for everybody.
Then we have the Dagger Isles, which is a tropical archipelago, I think pirate themed, but you can modify that if you want. Skovlan is a place of tundra. It was the last holdout against the imperial control, which means that the war that just ended was to conquer Skovlan. Okay, and then you have Tykeros, which is not on the map. It's somewhere far in the north. It's a place where people have some kind of a demonic blood in their lineage, and usually they look a little bit different than humans. But this is also up to the player to decide. If you see on the map, there are trains connecting these places. So there is a railway system with electroplasmic power trains that go between the cities so that they are protected from outside world.
Is heritage for color, or does it have mechanical impact?
It has a little bit mechanical impact. Some of the ratings that you choose for your actions should be heritage influenced, and also when you collect experience points in the end, if you show signs something, if you define your heritage throughout the game, then you may have one XP more, or sort of. So it's not really, it's mostly for color, but a little bit of mechanics.
Ostensibly, one of the ratings that you improve is supposed to reflect your heritage.
Yeah,
basically.
It's just, we're all reasonably well off. So I was trying to explain why I could be Skovlan, and I don't think I can. And
a noble, like a noble family that are sued for peace or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Skovlan.
A traitor, one might
say.
Yeah.
Collaborator.
Yeah.
We're polite.
Okay.
all the non-Akarosi places have their consulates in Doskvol, so you can be some kind of a representative if you want, or something like this. Or also you can be born in those other places, but having lived in Doskvol for a lot of time, so it doesn't really matter how you define your heritage.
I'm assuming we're setting the game in Doskvol, so I'm assuming that we
Yeah.
all live here.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it worthwhile having different backgrounds?
Backgrounds. Okay, so there is the next is backgrounds. You also get one action rating for your background.
Okay.
I think, and we have a choice of academic, labor, law, trade, military, noble, and underworld. Because we are playing high-class citizens, I would like to rule out labor and underworld for what you can choose. So anything else goes.
Can I put something into the image? How do I get an image attached to my character?
Okay, so if you click on the circle,
oh, I see it.
then you have
Fine.
next to the name of your playbook, you have update avatar, and then you can upload a picture.
I'm sorry, could you say one more time the backgrounds that we are off the table?
The backgrounds are labor and underworld are off the table.
Okay.
So you can choose from academic, law, trade, military, or noble. Okay, next you have assign 4 action dots. So if you scroll down, you will see actions and abilities, the actions and abilities tab. The 4, so the one, if I'm looking at insight, this is an ability, and it has 4 actions underneath it: hunt, study, survey, and tinker. Abilities, insight, prowess, resolve are used for resisting consequences, and the other actions are used for action rolls. Okay, so each of your playbooks has, I think, 3 starting action dots, and you add 4 more, 2 of which are based on your influence and your heritage and your what's it called, background. Yeah, and the other 2 you can assign freely. But as a start, you cannot assign more than 2 action dots or on any of on your actions.
Where does it say where, as a cutter, I have to put dots?
Okay, as a cutter, you have.
It should already be in there. I had some as a
Oh,
perk.
really?
I had
Oh.
I had finesse and prowl already filled in.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
the starting ones are filled in, and the other ones you hover over the action dot, and there is a small pencil that you click
I
on.
see.
And,
Sorry, I was looking at insight and I was wondering why they were all 0, but of course that's because I didn't scroll down.
Did we say that we were all supposed to take 1 in a tune? Did I hear
No.
something like that?
No, you
No.
don't have to.
I was just saying that any one of us can use a tune. Like, it's not off the.
Oh, it's not off the table. Even if we have
Yeah.
a 0, we could use a tune if we really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those 3 are already in, and did you say there are then 4?
4 more that you can add. And
did you say that heritage and/or background influenced that, or are they separate again?
They each influence 1 of the 4.
Okay, how do I know which
You
ones?
choose whichever you want. It's up
Your
to you.
interpretation, Alan.
It's how
I
you
see.
interpret it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have been my question too, because that sounded like and my heritage says I have to put
That's
dots
right.
into
I
thingy.
honestly think that it's one of the most confusingly worded parts of Blades of Dark.
Okay.
It implies that there's a hard rule, when it's really just a kind of like, try and justify it to yourself, which is how we all play games anyways, right? So like...
That's right. So yeah, you should have just said, just put 4 dots and that would be fine.
And think about why you have those 4 dots, and that would have been it, right? But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And when you have done that,
I'm
It's going to take me a while to get past that.
Okay.
Where does it say what these thingies
That's what I'm looking
are
for
supposed to be? What they are supposed to do? Because I have vague ideas. But
okay. I will put under assets. You have action roll. The action.
Okay,
roll,
I see it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
and then you can see that.
Okay.
So maybe when you are finished with this, you can write that you in the chat that you are done.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Can I just check? If I want to, hang on, just need to. So if I want to put one in survey, which is insight, does that mean I automatically get one in resistance, or do I have to add one in resistance as well?
It's not automatic. So in this, you get 1 in resistance for every action attached to it that has more than 0.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't express that well. It's not automatic in the sense it doesn't appear, but does that count against my 4?
Yeah, it counts, of course, for every.
No. I
No.
think you're getting confused here. So that resistance at the top is a tally of the subtract
Of the other ones, right? Okay,
Yes.
so that isn't against my 4.
No.
No,
You raise, yeah.
Okay.
It is a side effect of how roll is portraying the sheet rather than
Yeah,
it's
because
less.
on the paper sheet, it's kind of
Yeah.
easier to see that you add that column up to get to this number up there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it shows the number of skills that you have in that subcategory, right? So if I have in finesse, I have prowess, prowess, I have finesse and prowl, so I have a resistance of 2, and in the other ones, I just have, I have 2 in insight as well. Nice. But I have only 1 in resolve. No, I don't. I have 2 in everything. I'm sorry. I'm just adding out loud. And I'm sure you're all amazed by my mathematical abilities.
Stop adding out loud, because I'm adding in my head.
7, Alan. It's always 7.
4, I said.
think I did it
You can also click on the hexagon next to your rating, and it will automatically add that number of dice to your pool. But it doesn't really work with 0 dice, because you have to get 2 dice and take the worst one.
Okay, so just to check in, I should end up with 7 allocated to the not resistance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the number that goes in that box is the number of areas, actions that I have anything in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Are we going to be mostly?
Go ahead.
Are we going to be mostly using chat in Zoom or chat in Roll? Just so I'll know where to look for chats and where to put them.
Can we say Zoom? Just because I feel like
I
Zoom
think-
Roll's
I
already
think-
got quite a lot going on.
Yeah. I think Zoom will work better.
Perfect. Thank you. Daniel, is there any generic advice that you can give me in this process, or I should just follow my gut and just put a bunch of numbers down?
Yeah, you just follow your gut. If you want to have a look or for what the action ratings mean, you can do that. But I think
Is it good to have something in each of the categories so I have a little resistance in each of the categories?
I really don't know what to say. I have played a lot of Blade. It's a matter of preference, I think.
Okay.
If you want to have some sort of a little bit of everywhere, but sometimes it's cool to be good at one thing, really good at one thing, and not as good at other. But
just avoid putting yourself in a situation where you might be faced with having to resist any of the other ones.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I have to say the rules of the game state that your characters are really good at doing what they are doing. Even if you fail at something, it doesn't mean that you're poor at it. It means, it should mean mostly bad luck, or that your opponent or your obstacle is really, really, really tough. So it's not like your first level characters in the most popular game. It's just like, you're good, you're experts at what you do.
And there are resources in the games, I remember, that allow you to get out of jail free.
Mm-hmm. Quite a lot of resources.
Until you can't.
Yeah.
I've just cut the I've just taken a screenshot of the quick start guide for the slide, Daniel, from the book.
Okay.
It's in the Slack chat if you like it, just because that's the best place for me to put snipped images and stuff there. So
okay.
Those are 4 kind of like off the rack sort of models of the slide: the Siren, the Prestige, the Grifter, and the Spy. Just as a, hit the ground.
Okay. Jose, if you want to look.
Jose, sorry, yeah.
Thank you.
I could only think Septimus.
Okay. Okay, if I don't know, take your time. Don't worry about me.
I still need to choose my ability, actually. Oops.
Okay, so if you have finished with the action dots, you can choose one special ability from the list of special abilities. And if you are it's recommended, if you are not sure, or if you're new to the game, that to choose the first one on the list. But you may also want to look at what they do.
Choose a special.
I'm going to apologize because I think the ritual stuff is quite woolly and hard to understand, but I also think it'd be rude to be a cult that didn't have rituals. So,
Okay, this is understood. Yes, the rituals and crafting rules for leeches are the most complex stuff in the game.
I don't think it helps. They also all seem to, by default, take like 4 or 5 sessions to actually get anywhere with,
Yeah.
which is kind of like hard.
When you're done with your special ability, there is a tab called Dangerous Friends, which is under your coin and stash. And you can choose one from each, there's a drop-down menu. You could choose one of those characters to be your close friend and one to be a rival or some kind of enemy. You don't have to define what it means right now. Just choose, you can just choose the thing that you think that sounds good to you, or the name or the character that sounds good to you.
Okay. I'm sorry, could you, the next step is close friend. I'm a little bit behind.
Okay.
And you said something just now about it and I missed it. I'm sorry.
Okay, so there's under special abilities, you have your coin and stash, and then Dangerous Friends. And then there's a drop-down menu under Close Friend. You can choose one name that sounds good to you. You don't have to define who they are. As of now, we will define it in the game. and another character who is your rival or your enemy.
Okay.
And they should be different characters, but you can choose each of them for what sounds good to you.
I mean, is the Raven Doctor a rival, Sabine, or do you think that's too? You're muted.
The Raven Doctor would totally be your rival if you were a noble and full of yourself.
Well, I was also thinking of taking close friend Skurlock, a vampire,
Oh, yes,
a patron and a friend.
That
you know?
that is very appropriate. Daniel, I think you met the Raven Doctor, didn't you?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to choose the Raven Doctor as your rival, you can, or your
Yes.
friend.
I think it's the Raven Doctor is the Spirit Warden adventurer, the masked vigilante adventurer, the masked Spirit Warden who goes far beyond his Spirit Warden remit.
Yeah, well, he's also known as Doctor, the Raven Doctor.
I know no one sees through that disguise.
No one ever sees through that disguise. There is this Silas Ravenglass, who's a Spirit Warden, but he couldn't be the Raven Doctor, right?
No, not at all.
Can I just can we steer clear of all the lore?
Oh no,
that you may share, because you're just losing me.
We're just having a joke in the same way of
I see. Okay.
you know, yeah. It's just going to be a bad guy Spirit Warden, basically, who doesn't approve of our culty ways.
Yeah, I think we don't have to define the same character if you name it the same.
I think it would be an odd choice for Alan to object to ongoing continuity given his experience in other games.
No, it's just I was beginning to think I should be listening to some of it.
No.
Okay.
That's all. No, makes no difference in the game.
I think you should listen to it. It's great, but not for this game. Not as homework for this game.
No. I think I'm done. I've chosen a dream walking ritual, Daniel, which I've pegged at 2 stress, perhaps. I don't know. They seem very loose and thin. So whenever I invoke that, which is a downtime action, I can go into dream walking, and I think that is along the lines of very vague and sharing dreams with people, perhaps manipulating them depending on how well the success goes. You know, it could just be research. It could be you must, beware the Red Raven at night or whatever.
And how does it work? You have to invoke it at downtime?
Yeah, that's how rituals. You cast rituals during downtime, apparently.
Okay, and then you use them.
Then they provide you with information or benefits.
Okay. I'm not really familiar with this rule, but we can
neither am
bring
I.
it. Yeah.
I think we spent the entire of our last blades in the dark run trying to craft a single grappling hook.
I remember I had a ritual concerning ravens.
You did, yeah. You could command the ravens.
Yeah, I did. That was fun.
Should I be working on the Vice now? Is that where I'm at?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah, if you are finished, you can choose one of the vices. Your vice, it's up there with the basic information of the characters. And maybe for now, you don't have to define a special place if you don't need where you engage in those vices, but the vice is the way to reduce your stress after you have gone up with the stress during your score. So the game has a 3-part structure, which means that it starts with free play, where the characters can do what they want, and then they enter a score, which is some kind of a mission or a job that they have to do to further the agenda. And after score, they have downtime, in which they can work to reduce stress or heat, or work on their own projects and stuff like that. So this is the 3 parts: free play, score, and then downtime. So when you get to downtime after the score, you choose your vice, where you engage your vice to reduce your stress. Because when you fill your stress track, you gain a trauma, which sounds really bad, but it's really good thing somehow, because you permanently out of action, but not for too long, and then you can use your trauma to if you play out your trauma during the session, you may get experience points. So it's not something to totally avoid. But then when you gather 4 traumas, then you lose control of your character, and you have to pick a new one. Blades in the Dark is mostly a game where you don't have to play the same character if you don't want to. It's a game that is focused more on the crew than on individual characters. So they may come and go if they want, and sometimes you can lose control of your characters temporarily or even permanently.
And how do I change my little peanut down there to my character? Change display name. Oh, that was easy.
Okay. We are long overdue for a break. So maybe we can take a 5-minute break now, and then if you want to finish your characters, you can do it, but we will be quick with our crew, okay? So see you in 5 minutes. Okay. I think I want to maybe skip some of the creation for now. We know now a lot about our characters, but let's revise the safety tools first so that we can see. So on viewing sheets table, you see the safety tab where you can add lines or veils how you want to, and when you are finished with that, you can maybe write done in the chat so that we know each other, and then we will introduce the characters. And I want to try to do make your crew creation incrementally throughout the session so that we start playing a little bit earlier, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we could leave crew creation until the first downtime action, I suppose, right?
Yeah, but maybe we can, when we get to know characters, we'll maybe put one thing in the crew and see how it goes. Okay, well, let's review lines and veils first, and then we'll see. Later for. Okay. Okay. Are we all done? Okay, so for our lines, we have decided that we don't want to see in our game sexual assault or violence, homophobia, racism, sexism, harm to pregnant women and infants, and cannibalism. For our veils, we have put torture by PCs, consensual sex, harm to children. And we are interested to have a religion and a little bit of horror and gore in our game. I want to now go around the table and have everyone introduce our characters. And then I will ask you a few questions about you. So what we have set up is that your characters are from the upper classes of Doskvol, and they have been maybe not doing anything illegal or engaging in any illegal endeavors before, but they have recently been awakened or contacted by a higher power, which is not the main part of the main religion in Doskvol. The main religion, the main church in Doskvol is called the Church of Ecstasy, and it is a church that teaches that everything that is mundane and all living beings are fine, but the spirit world is something that should be shunned and fought against, which is like a standard religion. But there are some fractions inside this church that think otherwise, and some secret societies that hold power church that have other thoughts about higher powers. What you are encountering is something new, something that only you have been in contact with, and it told you a message that this world that you're living in is the system of life is not good and it should be changed drastically. And they have wanted you to participate in that change. What that means exactly is up to you. We know that as in the 19th century, there are a lot of bad people holding power, and there is a lot of inequality in the world, and there is a lot of things that should be changed. But what you are going to do about it, what your characters are going to do about it, is up to you, and there could be consequences for whatever you choose. So I'm going to go around the table and ask you to have you introduce your characters a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your characters, and then I will ask you a few questions about your characters. Okay, so let's start with Alan again, and you can tell us who is Sir Skara Dagan, if I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, too many screens, too few buttons. Yes, Skara Dagan, he, him, is a middle-aged man, big middle-aged man of Skovlan heritage, dressed as a Skovlan noble despite holding an imperial knighthood, an affable man until his eyes go cold. He's the cutter. His background is in the military. He fought against the empire in the recent incidents, the recent unfortunateness, and his vice is he drinks heavily, quite wino and certain. He is mostly about hurting people, it must be said, as the cutter. And he knows, hang on, one of the dangerous friends. His close friend, perhaps a drinking companion or someone he's met drinking, I don't know, is Kyle, a vicious thug. He's Skara's connection to the lower classes and brings, it says here, an attractive level of vicious to the streets. My rival is Grace, an extortionist. I think Grace, or at least I think Grace, may know something I did in the war that I prefer no one living and very few dead to know.
Okay, did Skara hold a high rank in the military of Skovlan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he led, yes, he was seriously high up. And his knighthood was granted, I think, is officially as part of the kind of reintegration of Skovlan into the empire.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Septimus. Septimus Carlisle. Was it?
Hi. So I am playing Septimus Carlisle. He is of noble heritage from Akodos. Is that called Akodosi? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And his look is tall and thin, calm, with elegant clothes and high boots. His vice is pleasure. I haven't exactly narrowed that down on how he seeks his pleasures, but he does when he needs to. He is a slide. That's the playbook he's playing. And let's see, scrolling down. I guess I won't talk about all the abilities and stuff like that. dangerous friends, Nerix is a prostitute at a very high-end brothel in, I guess, one of the noble districts of town, and she's a close friend. And Baz is a gang leader, is a rival who I assume Septimus had some kind of disagreement with regarding, I don't know what regarding yet, of a personal nature, I think, maybe regarding one of the prostitutes at the let's call it the night court, the brothel where Nerix works, and yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Great. Is the Carlisle family a big noble family in Doskvol?
I would say, yeah, sure. I think he's from a noble family, although he's not a first son. I assume he's like a youngest son, so maybe a third. I guess he'd have to be the seventh son. So it's a very prolific family. So he is the seventh son then.
How is he regarded by his family?
Since he's so far down the birth order, no one really pays him very much attention. And so he's gotten away with a lot and played unsupervised quite a bit. And so no one has even noticed that he has suddenly taken on some interesting new friends in the form of this crew.
Okay, great. And now Anton Hightower.
I've managed to mute and unmute myself. Hi. So Anton Hightower is the Whisper. He is an academic, a student at Doskvol Academy, a local boy, comes from a minor noble family of, just enough to sort of send him off to school where they fondly think that he'll come back and bring their riches. But he's found something more important than riches or wealth or prestige. He's found the truth. The Empire is a lie. The stories, the works, they all corroborate it. All of this. The Immortal Emperor. He the one who ruined the world? We must bring it back. And friend Skurlock, such a noble and honest and generous friend, has told Anton, has corroborated all of the things the demons has whispered. So Anton's friends are Lord Skurlock, an ancient vampire, who is said to be the only person as old as the Immortal Emperor, and has provided first-hand testimony to a lot of the things that Anton has read in books. And his rival is the Raven Doctor, a spirit warden who frowns upon all such, uses of the eldritch energies of the world, and seeks to bring balance to Doskvol as a spirit warden. And seems to have a particular petty hatred of Lord Skurlock and any of Lord Skurlock's friends, one might think.
So you have some powerful friends and powerful enemies.
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining Anton as sort of like he's actually just the meeting between Skurlock and the Raven Doctor, but he obviously thinks that he's the center of the world.
And you said you're a student. What is your area that you are studying?
Oh, I specialize in Titterossi translations, old Titterossi, the Demon Isles they are called, but of course Demon Isles is simply a part of the common vernacular. A more accurate term would be the Elder Isles.
Okay, great. But is this your knowledge about the arcane is not connected to what you're studying in the college, or?
Oh, I mean, ostensibly, there's nothing arcane about studying the history of the Demon Isles. It's simply a name.
Okay.
Ostensibly. Don't pay too close to the footnotes and the margins. If they were occult texts, then they would be impounded by the spirit wardens, and the Immortal Emperor would seize control of them.
Okay. Great. And let's go now to Rajul Dayandar, if I'm pronouncing it right.
I hope. I have no idea how to pronounce it. No, I would pronounce it Rajul Dayandar. or the Yandar. And I have to find him, of course. Rajul is the younger son of a rather important and rich trading house. I don't think he's precisely noble, but he's Eruvian. It's a bit unclear. People make exceptions because the Yandars, they have money like other people have lice in Doskvol. So Rajul is mostly useless. He likes to wear fashionable clothes and have lots of steam baths. And when I say he has lots of steam baths, I don't mean he goes to lots of steam baths. He has a lot of steam baths, but he kind of likes to spend his time there. And sometimes when he's bored, he started to take things, right? Not exactly for gain, more for the thrill, but it turns out that his father or his mother, the matriarch, had ideas about him working for the family, and he didn't want that so much. And so she said, okay, you can do with a far lower stipend, right? You don't need so much if you don't work. What do you need, really? So he was like, oh, damn. And now he kind of, I guess, steals also for gains. Like, he needs his clothes and needs his steam baths, and mother can't know. He has a little reputation, not him per se, but this thief persona is known as the new magpie, since the last magpie was some noble girl, and long story. Anyways, he's the new magpie. He is pretty proud of that. He will probably have told at least some of the crew, but it is of course not common knowledge because that would be uncouth, and he is nothing but not couth, whatever that means. He has a friend, a clerk, Petra. She's a tax person, a tax surveyor. So well, she knows where people hide their riches, right? And she thinks he is quite smitten with her. He thinks she's quite useful. So that's a good relationship, I think. And his rival is Darmot, a blue coat who has sworn to bring down the new magpie and figure out who she is. Or he, who knows, maybe it's a he this time. He has some suspicions, but he has not really he has not really gotten very close to Rajul himself.
All right, muted. What does the Andar family? What do they trade in? What is the main?
I think they make fabrics, I guess. Yes, the good ones, fabrics inlaid with gold strands, and the best cloth from wherever you can get good cloth, right? The best they have they might have been very well. They have taken over some of the Scotland trade routes because they don't need them anymore. They don't know what to do with them anyway.
Do they do only legitimate trade, or?
No, they do totally legitimate trade. And anything else Rajul doesn't actually know about. If they don't, if what they might, I mean, a family like that, they might have some underhanded dealings, but not a lot, not so as Rajul knows. Rajul is an unimportant younger son and not trusted with family secrets.
Okay, great. So very a lot of young people in the crew. It's very nice. You have all decided to be high class, which means you have a lot of money, wealth. And if you look at your character sheets or your playbooks, you will see that there is one area called coin and the other called stash. The game usually works like that you earn coin by performing scores. Coin is some kind of a meta currency, which means that one coin is that means there is a lot of money, like a bag of gold or something. It's not exactly defined what is a coin. It can mean any kind of goods that you can have, but the coin is what you have to spend right away, and stash is what you have stashed away for later days. Traditionally, the game works like that. You earn coin and then you put them in the stash, but you now have a lot of stash, and you have to transfer. If you want to spend coin, you have to transfer the stash back into your coin, and these could generate heat because this is not your usual drinks. So we will decide. We will see how this looks. You have a couple of coin yourselves, and you each have one coin, and your crew has 2 coin in their vault. So you have some money to spend right now, but if you want to earn more money, then you will have to use your stash. That means stealing for your family or your whoever you are part of. Okay, I think now I want to define your god person. So there is in your table there is a part where it says devils, and you can use this as an inspiration to define your what your deity is. If you see on your left side, there are some demon names which you can use, but also there are some forgotten gods names which you can use. And you will have to, for your crew, you will have to choose 2 main features of your deity. So if you look at your crew sheet, there is a place for there is a field for deity, and under those there are 2 features to choose. So now let's go with I maybe want each of you to choose one part of your deity, and I want to start with features. I want to see what are the main features of your god. So let's go around the table again, but now start with Jose, maybe. I don't know if you're seeing the crew tab, but yeah.
I see the crew tab.
Okay, there is those features that are set: alluring, cruel, ferocious, monsters, radiant, sinister, serene, and transcendent. You can choose one, and we will put it in the field, and then we will go around the table and choose other features of the god.
Sorry, Daniel, where should I be seeing that? Am I looking on the excerpt from the rules?
You're looking at the viewing sheets table.
The one that's headed devils.
And no, in the character sheet, in the crew.
Oh right, sorry. Okay.
In the crew.
There is also a roll table for BITD demons in the assets, which is a handout from the book on how to generate
Yeah, this is a handout for the book to generate demons and monsters in general, but we can use it for inspiration for our god.
Okay, so sorry,
but
I'm being dense. But
okay.
What are you wanting us? What are you wanting from us? Do you want us to pick stuff off the excerpt from the rules to insert into the character keeper, or is there a drop-down list that I'm just not finding?
There is a list beneath the word deity in the crew tab. Crew tab starts with cult, and there's name, reputation, and there's deity, and then there is choose 2 features. They're very small.
Yeah. So not now. You don't look at the tables, the random tables yet.
Okay.
But in the crew character sheet, there is a part called information, and then you choose your name, reputation, and deity for the.
I see. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Penny.
So I want to choose. First, we choose from those, and then we go around to choose different things. Okay.
So I just went ahead and chose Radiant.
Radiant. Okay, and then let's go to Will and choose another one.
I will choose Serene.
Okay, that's nice. Radiant and Serene. Okay, and I want to, and then let's go to Sabine, and you can choose. I will show you now another. You can choose a reputation for the crew. So this is what you will be looking at to show the reputation, and this is from the handout on the table, the crew creation handout. Under number 2, you see reputations.
Yeah, wait, give me a sec to find that crew creation. Where is that? I found it. Sorry, I'll have to.
Okay.
I can't see what you're sharing. I'm sorry.
Yes, I was a little bit confusing. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
fine.
wasn't sure.
So choose and initiate reputation. So we have ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, and strange. I mean, we're a cult. I'd go with strange.
Okay. That's nice. Okay, and now I go back to the handout that I was showing in the first place to ask Alan to pick a name for your god person, god or goddess. You can choose something from the handout.
The Lost Crown.
Okay, nice. Okay, and now let's go around the table again and start with Anton. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how you were first contacted by the Lost Crown. What kind of, how it happened, what did you experience, and what was the message that you received from that?
It was a text in a book that mentioned me by name and this time and place that I was reading it, and it said that I must seek out Mr. Sir Scaradaghan, and he would be my companion. And then the dreams came.
What kind of dreams?
There's an old word. They don't say it much anymore. Bright dreams. Like, there was this thing in the legends, they called it daylight. It's what I imagine it must have felt like. It was on your skin. You could feel it. It was nice. But it burned.
Nice. Okay. Let's go to Sabine now. What did you, I mean, not Sabine, but Raju. Yeah.
Yeah, I think was something I acquired in one of my expeditions. Was a little mirror. It seemed quite fancy, gold. I mean, who needs a gold mirror, right? It distorts the colors, but still seemed reasonably valuable. But when I looked into that mirror, there was this odd light, right? It was like it was me, but I was illuminated by just by bright light, brighter than anything I've ever seen. And then I saw a face of a man that I knew vaguely, Septimus Carlisle, I think. And I thought maybe I should go and talk to him about things. Yeah.
Okay. Skara, what was your experience?
I think that I was looking for something. I have no doubt the empire is corrupt, and so I was looking for ways to bring it down. And to be honest, the secular approaches to that, people play at it, but they have that's not going to work. And I think that while Anton may have been told to find me, he found someone who was searching.
Okay. And Septimus?
I think what happened with Septimus is it began gradually and then accelerated over time. But he would be having a conversation or in an interaction with someone, maybe a lover after a romp, or a bank teller cashing a check, or a bartender, and suddenly their faces would transform, and there would be it was like a light was pouring out of them, and then they would begin to speak to Septimus in ways that he could never remember what they said, but he felt exalted and uplifted, and over time these interactions increased, and then he began to remember what these people were saying, even though they had no memory of ever saying anything to him. And little by little, it led him to Sir Dagon. And then when he first met Sir Dagon, he saw the light shining from his face and the faces of all the other cultists, and he realized he had come home.
Okay, but so you have been magically connected through your visions to each other. I want to hard frame a scene forward, maybe a month forward, where you are. When we define a crew, we define a sort of a hunting grounds. This is a sort of a place, a street, or a part of a quarter where you perform your actions, whatever your crew stuff that you do. But for the cult, it's called a sacred site, and you are defining. You will yourself define a sacred site for you, where you have what will be your first sacred site. I'm thinking it is. I will set it up as some kind of a church or a temple, which is abandoned. It was abandoned, and it's. We will define later what part of the town it is in, but it was abandoned, and you have met together with. You all came to it at the same time, and you are now inside it, talking about what you want to do with it. But first, I want to maybe paint a scene and see. I'm seeing it as some kind of place where there were some kind of mysterious signs of religion or something else before you came. It is abandoned now, and you are not owning it, but you are inside it. You have found it. It has found you. It was maybe in your dreams, in your visions, and you came to it, and you came together to meet there for the first time. But let's try to see what are the signs of something mystical in this building from a place from a time before, which was forgotten. And when we'll do this, we will take another break. Okay. So let's start with Sabine now.
Okay, the question was, what was, yeah, can you rephrase the question? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. There are some remnants of maybe a religion or some mystical happenings in this place. It may look like a church or a temple or a small building which is maybe detached from other buildings, but it's abandoned, maybe ruined. But there are some remnants in the way it was built, or things that are there of a strange religion, not similar to what you have defined the lost crown.
So not similar.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's also similar. This is pretty close to the river, and it has some very odd, it has some very odd kind of depictions of plants, like plants you don't usually see. I mean, I imagine a lot of plants have died because no sun. So these are a lot of trees and things like that. I mean, you've seen trees in books or maybe in a painting, but not maybe there are a few real trees somewhere in the palace, but they're rare. So this is there are some statuaries of trees.
Oh, nice. Are they old trees, like big trees, or?
Yeah, there are very big trees, oaks or something like that.
But they're not real trees, they're statues.
Oh, no, they're statues. They are trees that have turned to stone, but to us they are clearly statues.
Okay. Skara, what do you see in this place?
I'm kind of imagining that these columnar trees meet above to support the roof, perhaps. And the shadows among those boughs above, up towards the ceiling, because of course they're not like ordinary structures. They don't come out to a neat point or a neat arch. They come out at all kinds of levels. And the shadows are up there in that, what would you call it, canopy. They move oddly. They unnerving shadows in the canopy.
Okay. And Septimus?
And if you're very quiet, you can hear, it's almost like the tinkling of glasses, or of a chandelier, maybe, as if many small delicate items are coming into contact with one another. And there's some feeling when you hear that sound of some force underneath all of this building and this place that gives it kind of almost like an electrical energy to it.
I've been unmuted and then muted myself. Are these sounds coming from somewhere specific that you can see, or they're just around?
No, you can't localize them at all. So they seem to be coming from everywhere. And then the moment you try to focus on them, they're elusive. Then you can't hear them anymore. So they're always in your, I know there's no, like your peripheral hearing, if there were such a thing. So you can't attend to them directly. You always just notice them in the corners of your consciousness.
Great. Okay, Anton, what do you see?
It's a small thing, but there's a crack in the roof, and just through that crack, you can see something glowing in the sky. And the stars, they're weak, pale, shattered things of what they were, but this one seems to glow with a purpose. And if you walk outside the church, you can't see it anymore. But from within, through that one specific crack at that one specific time in that one specific place, something burns in the darkness. Maybe it looks back.
Maybe it's the crown that's lost.
Okay, great.
Oh, maybe that was a constellation, the crown, right? Like, oh,
yeah. Okay, let's take another break, and then we don't have much time, but I want to have a short scene and maybe try out some action.
We could go straight into an engagement role and do a quick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. See you in 5.
So on a meta level, right, on the crew level, we're rep, we're tier 0, and we've got all the coin in the world to move up, but we've got to get 12 rep, I believe, to level up. So I would love if we could make this quick operation, as it were, something that will get us a score. Gives you two rep by default, I think, is the thing. One of the metrics I feel that Blades should be much more generous with is how quickly you can move up those initial ranks in the tier thing.
I agree. I have in the notes tab, I have some ideas about how the cult thing would proceed, and so because I really don't see this kind of cult. You can think otherwise, but I really don't see this kind of a crew to work for money, to make scores for money, but just for reputation. So I will add anything that you do that would you would earn coin. You get an additional rep equal to half the coin you would earn without earning the coin itself. That is kind of a hack that I have envisioned. I wasn't really trying to do, like a whole kind of a serious hack of Blades. So let's just see how this goes, and then we can learn around it. Okay. Okay. So because we have little time, I will try to frame for you. Usually in Blades, you pick your own scores when there's enough time to feel the situation about what you have. But since we have little time, I want to hard frame a situation for you, and then you can decide what kind of score you want it to be, and we jump straight into the engagement role and see how that works. Okay. So you have been sitting in this church, this strange but very beautiful church, and it is very quiet except for the tinkling sound coming from the peripheral hearing somewhere, but coming from somewhere, but you can't really discern where from. And suddenly not suddenly, but slowly, that sound gets overwhelmed by squeaking of wheels, and you hear some kind of a coach chariot approaching the church. The church is in a somewhat abandoned part of the town, very dark. There is not a lot of light here. We will define later what part of town this is. But you hear a couple of steps and a couple of people mumbling. And if you you are in the dark inside the church, and you hear sounds of people talking to each other, saying, "Let's hide here. This church is, there's no one here. We can hide here from the blue coats." And you hear wheels, and you see through the door, which is a little bit open, that there are like 6 or 7 men approaching and pulling a cart full of crates. And it seems like this cart is very heavy. The crates are very heavy. There are 3 or 4 crates inside, and they are pointing at the church, and they are pulling this cart as fast as they can towards the church. It's obvious that they want to hide in the church from someone who is coming after them. So I'm not sure how this works, because I have never framed the engagement role so hard. But let's say that, or unless you have another idea, which you can discuss, let's say that you want to keep this church for yourself in a way that you will decide how. Okay.
Should we take it as that, this church is we're consecrating it for our deity, right?
Yeah.
We've come here and this is our complication, right? Like
Yes.
there are
Yes.
other people interested in the church.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it like this. And when we start a score, the first thing you want to do as players is to define the type of the score that you want to have. And this is, I am showing this on the table in the roll up. There are 6 types: assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. When you define this type of score you want to have, one more thing you have to define is the detail. And each type has a different detail that you want to define. You don't have to define a lot about it. You don't even have to make preparations before, because you can flash back to a place before where you have something ready for an action that you have. We will explain how this works, but I think you all kind of know what this means. Okay, so the first thing to do is to define this type of score. You can choose to assault, to
I suggest we go for deception. We've got a lurk. Several of us have prowl. Somebody just looks helpless. They come in. We slaughter them.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We could also do deception and get them just away from the church. But
The lost crown needs a sacrifice.
Yes, it was very clear about that. This is but a small price.
Oh, well, fine.
okay,
Then.
you can change later what kind of deception you want to have. But first now, so if you've chosen deception, the detail you want to define for the beginning is the method of deception. So are you at the beginning, are you trying to hide, or talk to them, drive them away? What would be the detail of the deception?
I think that deception would be if we talk to them and not just hide, and the shadows would be to draw them in, right? Because that's where we can then go and do the sacrifices stuff.
An ambush.
Yeah.
I'm looking to the prowl bit that says ambush with close violence.
Yeah.
So Scara is going to just melt into a shadow. I'm guessing Raoul is going to be is similar given the prowl.
Oh well, I mean, if nobody wants to do the talk thing to these guys,
I can be the bait.
Yeah, you can be the bait. Then I go through shadows. Shadows is fine. I like shadows. I'm very good at shadows.
I mean, let's face it, Septimus has bait written all over him.
I'm very baitful.
Fair point.
Sway to consort 1.
Okay, but the main detail is the ambush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when we pick the engagement roll, we build our dice pool, and for each point of the dice we take or give another die. So we have I will count, and then one of you will roll this dice. This is a fortune roll, which means that there is no position effect. It means just how well you start the action, at what position you start the action. So one die for sheer luck, and then are there any major advantages or disadvantages? Is this operation particularly bold or daring? I think not. These guys don't look very, very dangerous. Okay. Does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not expecting us.
Exactly. So that's another die. Is the target strongest against this approach? No. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Why, yes, Lord Skurlock provide. No, we're doing the deception, aren't we, as a thing? So no, never mind.
Okay. Are there any enemies or rivals interfering with this operation? I think also no.
I mean, my rival Darmot might be one of the guys that is chasing them, so I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know who's following them. We might want to establish that before we kill them.
Yeah,
it could be. We kill them as well.
And then
yeah, it could be a rival, but it's not. He is not. They're not really interfering. So
yeah, it's true.
So I think we leave this with 2 dice. Okay. So one of you can roll.
I think Alan should roll. He suggested the score.
Okay.
So it can be your fault if we all got slaughtered on our first mission.
Oh,
that's a pair of 6s, I think.
That's a pair of 6s, which means so a 6 is a success, and a pair of 6s means a critical success. And in terms of
you get to always roll, Skara.
Yeah. And in terms of the engagement roll, critical success means that's an exceptional result. You've already overcome the first obstacle and you're in a control position for what's next. So the Skara, what would be the first obstacle that you is there someone who came inside first or?
No, there's someone who came inside last.
Okay.
We don't want to take the first one. You pick them off from the back. So the last one in.
Okay. So you
down in a pool of blood.
So you let everyone inside together with they pull the crates inside also
better and
with
better.
them. There are 6 of them. Okay.
Now there are 5 of them, I would like to say.
Now there could be 5 of them. And they're in control position and they don't really know that anything has happened to the last person who came in. You see they are wearing black, they are masked, they have some improvised masks. They seem like some kind of burglars or thieves or smugglers that they're running away from someone, and they were totally unaware that someone would be expecting them inside the church. So Skara took out the last person who went in, and Septimus, where are you at that time?
I'm at the altar, which is in the front of the church, so across from the entrance where they came in. And I am obviously I'm dressed in very elegant clothing. I look noble, and I'm just pretending to be a little bit inebriated, and leaning against the altar, and maybe my money clip or my coin bag is showing as bait, and as they enter, once they've entered completely, and I've seen the 6 taken out by Skara, I speak up and I say, "Gentlemen, what a lovely surprise! I was all alone here, hoping to find some friends to party with."
Okay, they are completely they were unaware of you when they were entering, and when you revealed yourself, they turn to you and they are completely shocked. You see some of them reaching out for some kind of weapons on them, reaching for some kind of weapons on them, but they are really slow and confused, and they are turning around to see where is the last guy who is missing. There's 5 of them. Do you want, Septimus, do you want to persuade them to tell something to them? And they're just looking at you, reaching for their knives. Maybe one of them has a pistol, but they're still really shocked, and you have time to do something else.
I can say I noticed that they're reaching for something, and Septimus says, "No, now, gentlemen, no need for violence. We're all friends here." And I'm leaning against the altar, but I'm positioning myself so I can fall back behind the altar if they try to shoot me with something. I don't know if there are guns in this world, but. Come, I'm sure we can come to some understanding. We can share this lovely church together.
Okay, let's try to make a roll. With the action roll, first you define what you want to do to them. So you want to, I presume.
Oops. Sorry.
It's okay. You want to.
I want to get them to lower their guard.
Okay. Okay. So what?
And stop worrying. What's taking Bernie so long to come in?
Yeah, and forget about Bernie.
Okay. So what? So which action do you think you want to use?
Would it be? I'm just learning these. A sway or? Seems like a social thing.
Yeah.
Sway or consort, maybe.
I've got a higher sway.
Yeah, it could be sway.
Go for sway then.
Sway someone with charm, logic, deception, or bluff. So you can do, if you're doing this slowly, it could be sway. It could also be command if you are more commanding, but sway is fine. And since you are in a controlled position, I would say that would be a controlled. I would say because of the engagement role, you're in a controlled position, and your effect is standard. Okay, but since there are 5 of them, I will start a clock with 6 parts. 6 parts that says defeat the intruders. Okay, and a standard when we fill a clock, standard effect fills two segments of a clock. Okay, so how many dice do you have in sway?
2.
Okay, so you use 2 dice, and you can also push yourself to either add another die or to increase this effect by 1 level, meaning it would fill 3 segments of the clock.
And I decide that before I roll.
Yeah.
And how much stress do I have? 4, did you say?
You have 9 stress.
Oh, 9 stress. Okay.
Yes, and you use 2 points of stress to push yourself to do one of the 2 things.
I have no idea at this point whether I should use stress or not.
If you're missing session 2,
then I might as well take stress.
Yeah. I think because there's not a lot of sessions, you don't really need to worry about saving stress, because even if you fill out on your stress, you get a trauma, it's really not a bad thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing.
I'll take a stress then. That would be an extra die. All right. And so then I select 1, 2, 3, and I add a buff of.
No, that's all you have to do. You just.
Don't I have to add the 2? Or
no. Buff is a modifier. I think that's what they call. But
it's a modifier. Oh no, it's the die pool game. Yeah. Okay, sorry, my bad. All better.
Great.
There's a 6.
There's a 6. So okay, so I'm filling out two segments of the clock, and this is a success with no consequences. Okay, to you see, because you can. I mean, some of them have really lowered their guard. Maybe not all of them. We will see, but you can tell us about how. I mean, how it happened.
I think Septimus did a pratfall, like this might be the stress-related part of it. He fell flat on his face to just make himself seem more helpless than imaginable, and like the most ditzy, noble man caught in a strange, weird, haunted church you've ever playing the exceptional victim, yes. And he fell flat on his face. And then a couple of them rolled their eyes and lowered their weapons, and at least a couple or 2 or 3 of them did that, and also started grinning and laughing at him.
Okay.
So that distracted them from thinking about Bernie.
Yeah. Okay. So they looked at you. And they rolled their eyes and they lowered their guards. The 2 or 3 guys that were, facing you. But then, I mean, the two guys they're facing you. But then there are 3 guys around behind this crate. They're still looking around, and maybe one of them or 2 of them are taking out their knives. Where is Anton?
Fuming at the sight of someone poking through his carefully prepared reliquaries, and I think looking over at the shadow that he assumes to be Sir Dagon, to be like, can we kill these people now before they mess everything up? I mean, seriously.
I'm waiting for Rahul to act, I think.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what.
So I'm waiting for Alan. Alan's waiting for Sabine, basically.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Next to Septimus, I am the squishiest, weakest of the group.
Okay. So yeah, Alan is maybe still. I mean, Skara is maybe still outside somewhere, finishing Bernie off.
In the shadows of the door, I think.
Okay. Yeah. And Rajul, where is Rajul then?
Rajul is in the shadow of in several of them at once, I guess. No, it just seems like that. And what he will do is, there are guys with knives, right? They seem easily confused as it is. So cut the one, cut the other, make them go for me, and then make them maybe stab each other. That is always so much fun.
Okay. So you are coming out of the shadow to attack them?
Coming out of the shadow, I don't need to. Yeah, just a little.
Can I offer something? Like,
yeah.
Maybe Rajul is hiding behind one of the pews a little bit further forward, and as one of the rolled their eyes kind of guys comes forward to try to take advantage of Septimus, she can jump up from behind the. He can stab from behind the pew.
No, these guys are well and truly distracted. I'm going for the guys with the knives out, because they have knives out, and that's a lot easier to stab each other with the knives. I'm just hiding behind one of these tree-like columns and darting in and out of the cover that I have, so that can't readily see where I am, because I imagine there is a bit of stuff in there that I can use as cover.
Yeah, let's say that the 2 of the guys are. One of them tells the other, okay, let's put this crate over there. Let's hide this. There's a dark place over there, and they point at your direction, and they take a crate with their knives in the other hands, and they go toward you, and you feel that they will maybe notice you, and then you do your thing.
They should notice me when I stab them. I mean,
okay.
I feel that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
That they notice that they are being stabbed, and that they try to do something about it, and maybe the wrong thing.
So you finish them. You want to finish them? That's your intention?
I have this. It's not a move. What is that called? Special ability, the Devil's Footsteps, in which I push myself. I can choose to maneuver to confuse my enemies so they mistakenly attack each other. I'll do that.
Nice. Okay. Do you want to do this in a manner that the others maybe don't hear it, or it's an open attack?
Oh, it's definitely. Of course, I want the others not to. I mean, they can notice that these guys are stabbing each other. They shouldn't notice where I am.
Okay, so but it's a surprise attack. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your action?
It's prowl.
Prowl. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pushing myself, but I'm pushing myself for that special thingy there, so I don't get another die.
I would say that you're still in control position because you have.
Yeah, they are. Well, they are
the
still
advantage
distracted, right?
They are still distracted and unaware, so you're in control position with a standard action effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do I roll? I rolled 2d6s.
Yeah, and you can push yourself.
I do push myself, but I push myself so they attack each other. That's the effect of the special ability.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to push myself for that. So I'm rolling. Come on, it's 2 5s. It's not that, not as good as 2 6s, but still, it's not a failure.
Okay. So for control position, it says you hesitate, withdraw, and try a different approach, or do it with a minor consequence.
I do it with a minor consequence. That's fine.
Okay.
To get rid of these guys.
So what happens? I think the minor consequence would be to get a point of heat, and you can narrate what happens. But as they attack themselves, they drop the crates that's in their hands, and something the crate breaks and something falls out of the crate.
Something or someone?
Maybe. So how does it look? How does it look when you maneuver between them and they attack it?
I mean, I think something or what would increase heat on us, or might be something very valuable that they stole. That's maybe better than a person. So yeah, what falls? I mean, they are carrying these crates, right, and have their knives in their hands, and suddenly one of them gets stabbed, not in a nice and gentle way, but in a really serious, like, ow, this hurts a lot way. And then he of course drops the crate, because if you get stabbed, you drop the crate, you start trying to figure out who is attacking you. And then the other guy does mainly the same, and then the two of them try to get it, but it's dark, right? There are weird shadows in this church, and they kind of mistakenly stab each other. But what falls out of the crate is, I think it's a seal of some sort.
Seal.
A seal of I don't know, some are there governors of the city quarters or something like that? Yeah, or maybe just the seal of some noble family. Do we have a noble family among our rivals? No, we don't, right?
It's not clear whether Grace is noble. It's quite possible she is.
Oh yeah, then it's the seal of Grace's family that drops out of there.
Okay. Okay. So we have filled now 4 segments of the clock, and we need to fill 2 more to see what to defeat them. Okay. So Skara, since Anton is still waiting, Skara, do you want to do something? There is.
Yeah. I stroll out, giving up controlled and going full desperate, because there are still 2 or 3 of them left. But I do draw my fine heavy weapon.
Okay, so when the crates break, it made a lot of noise, and all of them become alert. They stop what they're doing. And
No. I stroll out of the shadow and draw their attention to me.
Okay. So do you want to finish them, or do you want to set up someone else to?
No, I want to kill them.
Okay, so there's
That's
three.
what I do.
Okay, okay. Let's put it this way: you have what is your action that you want to do?
Well, I've given up on prowl. Now it's straightforward skirmish. So that's 2 dice. I have a special move called Battle Born. You may expend your special armor to reduce harm or to push yourself during a fight. So I'll push myself without spending any stress, which I think gets me to 4 dice.
Okay. Position.
How does it get you to 4 dice? You have 2 in skirmish?
2, and then
You push yourself is 3?
oh, 3. Sorry, no, you're quite right. It's
Yes.
3.
Just
Sorry,
because I was confused.
Your mark of 2 stress to get one more die.
No, I use my special ability.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then this is now.
I don't know where to mark my special armor as being used up.
I think there is a place, but
Well, you know,
it's somewhere
just
here. We'll
be
find
aware.
it. Okay. This
It's
is
an armor
this is
under
a
the
risky,
healing clock. Sorry.
Thank you.
this is a risky position with a limited effect, which means that there are 3 more of them, and it's
Can I not go to desperate?
Yeah, you can trade position for effect, meaning that you can go to desperate position to have a risky standard effect and finish all of them up. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and when you do this, when you make a desperate action, you mark 1 experience point.
Yes. So I'm rolling 3 dice.
Yeah.
And hoping for a high number. And one of them is a 6.
That's great. So that means you have finished them off. And tell us how you do it.
Oh, I just cut both of their heads off in one sweeping arc of my bastard sword.
Okay.
Why do I see the roll as 141?
Oh, you rolled a 1 for 1.
I mean, it's
Right,
a
sorry, the
total.
6
It's
is
a
on the end,
total.
sorry.
It's a total of 6.
It's a total of 6. Sorry, I'm not. I just saw D6 equals 6. So no, 4.
Okay. So 4 means that you succeed, but there is a complication. And the third one, so you cut. There are 3 more left. You cut the first and the second one's head off, and the third one manages to take out his pistol and shoots you.
Unless I resist it.
Yes, for 2, because this is a desperate position. It means 3 harm, level 3 harm, which is pretty bad. But you can resist it to lower it by one level. So that means it's 2 harm and not 3 harm.
And so resistance with prowess is 3. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm set up.
If it is, yeah.
Yeah, there's prowl, wreck, and skirmish.
Yeah. So now you look at the highest number.
Okay, let me roll it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, was it the highest number I got last time, or do I re-roll
No.
it?
You roll it again. You roll resistance again.
Okay, the highest number is 3.
Okay, that means now you subtract it from 6. Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. So 6 minus 3. So I mark 3 stress. Yeah.
Yeah. You mark 3 stress, and you mark level 2 harm.
Okay.
Which means there is a pretty serious harm, and it shoots you somewhere that is not fatal, but in the shoulder. That's good.
Yeah.
You could mark off an armor to reduce the harm to a level 1 harm.
Oh, right. Oh, armor. That's not where I expected to be. Hang on.
Loading items is.
Yeah, you don't have to do this right now because I think
Okay.
we're
Last
finished.
5 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, it makes a lot of sound.
Yeah, if I will mark armor 2.
Mhm.
So
If you-
armor would take up another one of my, oh God, where is it?
Yeah.
Load. That uses that. That's all my load done.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can have this armor, but so you can lower the harm by one more level, right?
Fine.
Yeah.
So grazed.
Yeah.
My arm.
Grazed shoulder.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I think we should stop here.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we kill these people.
Yeah.
We the last thing you see is Anton creeping out from behind the pews, looking around with a smile and saying, now the work can begin.
Yeah, Anton, and you, as you peer through the window, you see that there's a group of blue coats, the Doskvol policemen, running through the streets, trying to, trying to find these, but they just go by your. They heard the sound and they look around, but they don't look in your church. They just stroll by.
They hear that gunshot and it's strange. It's almost like they walk straight past the church without even seeing it. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Okay, great. So we did a score, and now there's a lot of things that we should do, and we don't have much time. I think we should finish here. I don't know. I'm not sure. I need your help on this. Should we do experience points now or not? Or just stars and wishes? I think the best way is to leave for the next session everything. And if you have time, we can finish right now. And if you have maybe 5 or 10 more minutes
I
to spare.
do not have 5 or 10. No, sorry, I have a hard out at on the hour.
Should we do stars and wishes and start with Sabine?
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, that would be nice because
Okay.
I really need to.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Sabine. So you're first.
Stars, lots of stars. This was fun. This is a fun crew. I really like the bloodthirstiness of Skara and of Anton, who was really creepy. Wow. And I also like Septimus being so charming to these poor doomed crooks, basically lowborn crooks. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this will lead us, because I am very curious about what that lost crown wants us to do for it. It seems very strange. And yeah, thanks stars to you, Daniel, for running this. This is a really fun crew, and yeah, thank you. And I will leave now.
Before you leave, Sabine, just one more thing. Are you okay to make this public?
Yes.
Everyone?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
The rest of you can have stars and stuff like that. But
You'll make up those stars. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sabine.
See you. Bye.
Bye now.
Okay, let's go with Will. Let's go.
Cool.
The other direction.
Yeah, I very much love the cult and our members and our characters together. I feel like we've got 3 believers, one of whom perhaps is like the student of it, the other 2 who feel it a bit more, and then our 4th member is solidly the pragmatist, which we need, I think, who's just like, this is power by another means, and it's the only one that'll take down the immortal emperor, which I love entirely. I like that we've got loads of coin. I like the idea of us having all of it, and that rolls into my wishes, which is that I would like to take the opportunity of that downtime to really do some, because I think over 3 sessions with a lot of coin, you're not going to see that much of what you can do with coin typically, because it's a good thing to have a lot of, but it's more like if you don't have it, you can't do anything. If you do have it, you can do some small things. I would like to be like, well, shit, with this coin, we're going to leap straight ahead 2 more tiers and just insert ourselves rapidly, like really.
Buy that rep.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but you do need some, you do need some of the other thing, and I want to just buy all the rep and get through, because we got 36 coins each, right? That's a ridiculous amount of money. So yeah, I like that. And otherwise, yeah, more of the same, more longer stuff, more blades, do a whole full structure of a blades game. So
yeah. Thank you. So let's go with Jose now.
My first time ever with Blades, so thank you for your patience with me. The character creation was a little overwhelming at times, but I had a great time doing it. I love the feel of the crew. The mechanics are a little overwhelming, but it's just lovely to have you all take the lead, and I can play in the wake for now. So that's really, I appreciate that. And I don't have any wishes because I'm still a little bit too just getting oriented. But I love the characters so far. Anton's creepiness, Gara's bloodthirstiness, and Raoul's also bloodthirstiness. Yeah, wow, I didn't realize I had such a bloodthirsty gang. But so I'm still trying to figure out how Septimus plays into all of that. But he had fun doing his slapstick. So thank you.
Thank you, Alan. What do you think? What
Yeah,
are your
no,
thoughts?
stars for running it. I think to try to run it in 3 sessions is I've never run Blades. It just frightens me. And so my rule of thumb when playing it is I do what I think the character would do when I rely on somebody else to tell me what dice to roll. And I guess, Jose, that would be my advice. Somebody around the table, Will said, oh, you could mark your armor to reduce that. Yes, of course I could, but I couldn't remember that. So no, that was great. Yes, we've got a high priest in waiting. We've got someone who will make sure that he has the very best fabrics available. And Septimus will be in charge of the kind of ritual potions and orgiastic rites.
someone needs to spread the good word.
While Skara will simply prod them to destroy the Empire. So no, it was all good fun. And wishes, yeah, I think invest a bit of time in downtime next time. So I think it would be very good if we could get some downtime, an op, a job, whatever. Score.
Yeah.
And maybe another downtime so that we can come to the last session when Jose comes back to us and go straight into an op, score. And that then I think would give Jose a chance to see, that at a final downtime, maybe.
Yeah, thank you. I think stars to everything's been said about the characters. I think there is a good balance between bloodthirstiness and weirdness. We have 2 bloodthirsty characters and 2 maybe a little bit strange ones, and we'll see how that dynamic develops. I think you have really good characters. I think you have defined your religion, your God in a nice way. I hope that we will, through these 3 sessions, define it more. I agree completely with, and I want to give stars to what you said about driving to that tier up with the reputation quickly. I want to see that happen because you have the budget to do that. And also, I think this is a good dynamic. What you said, Alan, about finishing the 3rd session with a score, with a maybe 3rd score. This would be a really, really, really good dynamic. It's always hard with Blades in the Dark to. For me, that would be my wish, to know better how to frame this structure, because I think you need to get really deep into some details. You can't really do free play, score, and downtime in a 3-hour session. But if you rush it, then it feels rushed. And then, but if you don't rush it, then it feels like you could have done more. And that is how I felt a little bit the character creation, and even to me, who I've played a lot of Blades, but some of the rules are also overwhelming, and we forgot and skipped a lot of it. But I hope we will go through it in this three session too.
I don't think it helps that the role interface is so very different from the Blades interface, you know, because I stuff that I would have seen on the character sheet, but I forgot that it existed because I had to scroll down to see that it was there, kind of thing, you know.
There is a button to the left of where it comes up as a panel, which gives you shortcuts to the sections. I discovered it there at the end, and it allows you to skip rather more quickly. But again, you know, even actions and abilities runs across, you know, kind of 3 screens.
Yeah.
So it is.
I'm also enjoying trying role, you know, as like a non-game specific thing. Like I like to try these systems, and I probably never would have got around to it otherwise, because
Presumably it can't do it all. It can't record.
No, unfortunately, it can do video and you know, voice and video, but I would need to record
then
it.
you're into.
My computer is not, my graphic card is not strong enough to record it in this way. I feel that Blades is also overwhelming to play even with Roll20 and the Character Keeper because of the many. But I agree now that I have played with Roll in different systems, but a simpler system would be better to try it out.
I think it's just that Roll20 it's basically you're looking at the Blade sheets, right, when you do Roll20, that's it entirely. So when you've learned the Blade system, you've learned how to do it in Roll20, whereas in Roll you've got the 2 areas of using Roll and But anyway, that was just like I say, it's not. Even if I come away from it going, I don't want to use Roll, I'll very much enjoy the fact that I got to try Roll, right?
Okay. So do you suggest that we should transfer to another?
No. I'm totally saying the opposite.
God, no. Let's see. We've invested.
Let's see where we go.
Yeah. If at the end
I don't
of
want Jose to come back and see us struggling with a third system.
Okay, that's right. Okay, thanks for the input. Thanks for playing. It was really good. And
bye, everybody.
And see you in the next second or third.
See you next time, folks.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.